I welcome you guys back to my next video over here. I welcome you guys back into my next video over here, which is how to overcome porn and pornography. I need you to understand that in order for you to overcome pornography, you have to stay away from it. And to stay away from it, I need you to use your emotions. I need you to use the heart, even more so. I need you to understand that the mind you have, which is up here, is different from what's in the body, and the body has everything to do with the heart and the guts and your lungs and also your legs and arms, and it's different from the body. So what the mind does is it forces you to go and release dopamine, and the more you release dopamine, the more lazy you get, and the less you're willing to work out and make your dreams and visions come true. Because what you need to understand about pornography is that it's a hassle to watch it, and it never makes you the money. And now the money is made through body awareness, which is being in the body the whole day. Be in the body as much as you can, and be in the emotions as much as you can. Whenever you have to come up here to do something up here, you have to focus and redirect everything towards your emotions. And now, if you're physically exhausted, you can use the mind. You can use your smarts. You can use your whole being. I will say that living in the emotions is so much more than living up here. Do you understand? Because the emotions can absorb everything around you, and also the health comes from the body, and it doesn't come from the mind. Although the mind, once you are in control of it, can set the stage for yourself to have better habits. And you have to understand, to have better habits is to stay away from pornography all your life. And the main deal about this is that those who understand that pornography kills you because it takes away your time, and it's a selfish pleasure where it's not helping your family and it's not helping anybody around you, because you're not giving as much as you would love to. And now, you never would love to give knowledge or anything. You just give from the heart. You don't would, you don't should, you don't could. You don't say if I could, you don't say if I would, you don't say if I should. Because those people who say that are the ones who are less confident, and they're the ones who lack communication skills. I need you to understand that since I am somebody who overcame pornography, I was also a person in terms of divinity, and I'm still divinity, and I'm still in divine nature. I'm a divine being now, even more so than yesterday, because I overcame pornography, and I had an addiction to pornography for 14 years. I had an addiction to pornography, and I'd be watching it once a week. Do you understand? I realized that when you overcome something like that, it's usually that you're allowing yourself to do so. You're allowing yourself to stay away from it. You're using your emotions as fast as you can. You're using Taoism. You're understanding that meditation is a way of life. And now, what is Taoism? I realized that when you do Tai Chi, you're doing some Tai Chi in terms of martial arts, and it's called Taoism, and it's a way for you to have some Feng Shui and some nice yin and yang aspects of life where you're in the moment and you're dancing and also moving and balancing your energy. And now, when you balance your energy, you're never going to feel tired, and that's what Tai Chi is. And now, how does Tai Chi help you? I realize that when you're walking, you're doing Tai Chi. I realize that when you're picking up something, in terms of you're just going somewhere and you're moving your emotions around, I realize it's called Tai Chi. I realize that Tai Chi is called move your emotions around. I realize that once you do that every single day, you will be able to overcome pornography. And now, those people who have less energy and the ones who are fat and obese are the ones who are more likely to be watching pornography today, because they have no energy levels. They have energy, although they can be so much greater than themselves. And the reason is due to what they're eating, and it's because they're slaves to food and pleasure. So anybody who's a slave to pleasure looks more like an obese person and a poor person who cannot communicate, because as Zig Ziglar said, that pornography is for insecure people. You understand? Because those people who are insecure need to feel loved by somebody. So what they do is they go on pornography, and inside pornography, in terms of they go on their phones and they watch pornography so that they can feel loved by somebody. I mean, they're having sex and you're not even in the picture, and you feel this sense of pleasure and dopamine because suddenly you don't care about life and you're alone in the room and nobody loves you. I will say that you do love yourself because you're still alive. I apologize for what I said, although you understand that it's how you feel in that moment. Because when you are masturbating and there's nobody else around you and you're watching pornography, I realize that it's taking away your time. And when you're taking away your time, you're not loving yourself as much. Do you understand? I realize I love myself fully and I embrace myself. And any time where I find this service that I give for myself, I realize that I make sure to never ever give myself a disservice. So I stay away from activities that is pleasure driven so that I can love myself more. I realize it's about communication, guys. So speaking from the heart with people and making sure you communicate with them on a daily basis. When you do gain some communication levels, you understand to make sure that other people contact you more than you contacting other people more, because that is the role of a secure individual who is a divine aspect of life. I promise you that we're all divine and divinity, although that most people run toward the crowd and they're calling people up so much. I mean, stop calling them and let them call you, and you'll find out who your true friends are. Well, that's the best road that you can understand to go in is the no pornography road and the no pleasure road, because you understand to go away from the crowd who does that. You understand to go away from all of that, because when you're a divine person who understands your being in this world to do something much greater, you understand that looking at other people have sex is a waste of time. And going on those sex sites and also the pleasure activities of daily life where you have to go into a club or nightclub or pub to get some drugs and alcohol so you can feed your ego is not going to help you either. I promise you, what helps you is being more disciplined and delaying gratification over time to make sure that what you're doing today is going to be much more passionate. You have to be more passion oriented, and you have to understand that what you're doing on a daily basis is do some more information products. I mean, make sure that what you're doing today is going to help you to prosper and to become more abundant. So give your heart and soul into overcoming all your obstacles. Realize that you need to have your heart inside. You have to understand that your heart is in your emotions and your heart is your body. So you have to live in the body to overcome all aspects of anything that's bad for you in terms of pleasure. Although you are divine and you are divinity in life, so realize that to become more divinity and more divine in Jesus' name, you'll understand that Jesus never ever watched other people have sex and never ever would today do in terms of what most people are doing. Understand that what you may be doing is watching pornography, although you understand that Jesus doesn't do that. I don't do it anymore because I understand that it never ever led to satisfaction. I promise you, it doesn't lead to satisfaction and it doesn't help me grow. And what helps me grow is journaling and doing these videos. I realize that these videos is my passion, and what my passion is inside the video is to grow from my own communication, because that's why I do these videos. I do these videos so I can grow. I don't do it for anything else. Do you understand? I realize that when I grow, I also grow you. And that's why I'm here. I'm here to grow. I'm here to be for a long time. I'm here to be the best I can be every single day. So every single day I make sure that I'm in the heart as much as I can. And I make sure that my emotions ride my day. And I move my emotions around during the day. I move them around this way. And I get a feel and I get a sense of what's going on. And I make sure that my emotions every single day is going to help me to communicate. I realize I use my strength and energy and what I have in terms of my vitality, which is all strength, and I use my semen retention. In terms of the guys out there, you'll understand that when you use semen retention and you don't masturbate to pornography and you don't masturbate either, you're always going to have more energy, and you're going to feel more of a man, and you're going to grow a beard much faster, and you're going to grow hair much faster, you're going to look better, and you're going to feel stronger, and also you're going to build muscle better when you're on semen retention, where you're exercising and becoming more fit, because what happens is your energy increases. I realized that once you're having sex too much with other people, you're going to be drained. You're going to be trained, because what happens is, in terms of the guy nature, I promise you the guy may be spewing out all of this that he has. Do you understand? The more you have sex, the more you have to go into that nature and aspect of life where you're doing all that sex in terms of pleasure, you'll understand that dopamine is being released. So the more you release dopamine, you'll understand that I realize that whatever makes euphoria in sex, in terms of masturbation, and sex is a pleasure activity. So the more you have sex, I realize the more drained you become. And you become so drained that you cannot get up out of your bed to go and do your passion anymore. I promise you it gets to that stage. So if you're a person who today is too much sex oriented and you're always you're like a dog who needs so much sex in life because you cannot live without it, you have a problem. I realize that what you need to do is you need to delay it. You need to delay gratification and stop looking for sex with other people, because Jesus said that sex after marriage is the best way. Once you're married to another person in holy matrimony, I don't care if you're gay, I don't care if you're whatever. I promise you, when you become married is the only time to have sex and pleasure. I realize that you don't go for the pleasure, and you only have a kid once you get married, and that's it. You don't have sex every day because you're married. You don't have sex for nothing. You have sex to have a kid, and that's it. You have a goal objective in mind to make something and not to have fun. I need you to understand that having sex every day with your wife or husband may be the solution of why you are losing. And it really, you have to understand, and it is really that you understand that if you're having sex every single hour of every day, and you understand that if you're having sex once a week and twice a week and 3 times a week and every day for however long, realize that what the doctors are saying about that it's healthy, realize it's only healthy when you're making a kid, and that's it. Do you understand? Because if you're going around having sex too much and masturbating all day in your bedroom, I promise you, you've got nothing to do. So go and find something to do, because being locked up in your house all day to watch pornography is not going to help you, and to watch in terms of anything in dating sites and going online to speak to women or men, to realize you never even do that either. You never speak to them, you let them speak to you. I never need you going online to go and masturbate while you're speaking to someone online either, otherwise that's a waste of time. You have to understand, I am somebody much better now than yesterday. I also was somebody who was doing all that. I realize that is not the way to go, and I'm teaching you from my experience now. I have no shame to expose myself and my habits. So realize that Jesus would never ever do that. I need you to understand that Jesus is something big, and you need to follow Jesus every single day. I need you to understand that every single day you stay open-minded, you'll find a way. I promise you, you'll find a way, although make sure you never give up. I make sure that you understand that the emotions is going to drive you to quit pornography and masturbation. You have to use your emotions. You're stronger than your ability to fill yourself with dopamine. Do you understand? You can use your whole body to stop yourself. That's how you stop pornography and masturbation. Do you understand? You stop all pleasure activities like that. You catch yourself up and you just sit still for another 24 hours because you will not go to the pub to drink a beer. You just sit here. It's that simple. mean, you just don't go and drink beer, and don't have the first sip of alcohol, and don't drink the soft drinks, and don't have sex with other people until after marriage. Do you understand? I realize that if somebody in your family is urging you to have sex, I realize only have sex with them to have a kid, and that's it. I promise you it's that simple. I promise you there's nothing else except do more in life. And when you're doing more in life, you're just making sure that what you're doing is going to help you prosper. So making sure that what you're doing today is going to help you to move forward. I realize each and every single time I do a video, I make sure to bring the best version of myself here so that I can grow. I have to grow from every single video. I have to make sure that I push my emotions to talk, because that's the way you have to walk the talk and also to communicate better. You understand that your emotions have to be driven, and you have to be a driven person to do videos. And now I'm passionate about what I do. I make topics beforehand, and then I sleep on it, and then when I wake up I realize I can do it because I've already sensed out what I'll talk about, and I just do it because I can have any topic, I can do it. I can do 1 hour topics all day long. Although I get into other aspects of life. I get into exercise, I get into getting the food, I get into going to see the scenery, I go and speak to whoever, I go and do my music production, although I speak to nobody else except the ones who give me value. And you should understand that those who give me value is Jesus and I the most right now. And now I don't need to speak to anybody else. I don't need to. And now I don't speak to whoever. I go to the ones who grow me. And now, since many grow me, I mean, how do I speak with them? I mean, what I do on a daily basis is I make sure to stay away from online conversation as much as possible, and I only talk to people in person from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then after that, I'm indoors. So I stay away from the people. I realize that there is only a certain time schedule where I speak to somebody first, or where I may go to somebody first to speak to them. And then when I do that, I only speak to the people who look richer in terms of image. I don't just go to anybody to speak to them. I don't speak to poor individuals who look poor. I don't speak to them. I realize that first impression is everything. I realize although that you have to understand that the more you drive yourself to communicate, the more likely it is you'll quit pornography and also overcome all your demons. So realize that every single day you do something, you do it with an open heart, and you give as much knowledge as you can in your videos, regardless of what's going on. I've already given you skills and necessities in this video where you can quit pornography. Realize you have to control your emotions. You have to overcome your ego. Your ego is the one who needs to masturbate and do pornography. Your ego is the one who needs to drink a beer and go with drug addicts. You understand? You have to back away from the ego. You have to let the ego die while you grow. And now, what are you going to do to grow? Because if you're not growing, you're dying. And there's no middle point where you're going to grow later. I mean, there's no middle point, because if you grow later, you're actually dying. I mean, you're either going up or down. I mean, your finances are either going up today or dying. You have to understand that the people you are with right now are going to leave you. I mean, number one aspect of life is grow right now, so that when they leave you, you're always secure and you always find something new to do. Because those people who have something new to do every single day are the ones who are more passionate and have much more goals. And now, I have so many goals because I write them down and I have a journal. I do my content in writing and video only. And now I export my videos in audio. And I do the same audios as my videos, although you understand that it's all I need in something greater. I realize that all I do today is writing and audio and video, although I know nothing. I know nothing about who I am, and I'm still learning about myself and what I need. I realize that although I do my content in quotes, I do my content in journaling, I realize that's writing. I realize then I do videos. I realize that I'm always doing something around this. I realize that the audios are just the videos in audio format. I realize although that I do have a podcast And I understand that can be something different. I although will keep practicing to make sure that I can go and be a peak performer much more, because that's the whole point of quitting pornography and pleasures in life. Realize that you don't need to masturbate. You don't need to have people around you. You just need yourself the most in Jesus' name. You need yourself the most, so realize that you are not people. You are your own person in divinity. You're a divine being. Realize that what they are is also that. Although you understand that they are separated from you, although we're all one. You have to understand that the ego is the one in your mind right now that is trying to control you. So make sure that you understand that you are something bigger than the mind, and you are something more spiritual than the mind. And now, since you understand that, you have to overcome your demons every single day. So the best way you can do that is to write in your journal and write something down about your story every single day and start becoming a more successful person today. And to do that is really be on the offense about success, and be on the offense about overcoming your demons, and be on the offense about entrepreneurship, and be on the offense about everything. And when I mean be on the offense, I mean go and learn how to do that, and go and learn this, and go and go and be interested in that, and go and be interested in this, and go and be interested in that there. And understand that the more interested you are to overcome something, realize that the more interested you will become, and also you will overcome it, because you'll find the information and you'll find what works and what doesn't. I realize that those people who are interesting are the ones who are always doing something new. I apologize, Danny, I love you. I realize that every single time I hit myself, I apologize. I apologize with myself. I realize that this one here, I apologize, Danny, because I hit myself again. I understand that I always apologize when I hit myself. I never cut myself. I never harm myself, because anytime I hit myself, I apologize to myself, for myself, in something greater. Otherwise, I'm always doing this for something greater, although I have so much energy today because I'm using my 1 hour rule. And now when I stay indoors for 23 hours, I have so much energy. You understand? And then because I am indoors for 23 hours, I'm always indoors because I'm living in my body, although I'm inside accommodation right now. And because of that, I have more energy. And now, because I have more energy, I can do more videos, I can produce more content, and I can grow more. Even though I live in Darwin at the moment, and I'll be, in 2 days' time, I'll be in Alice Springs. Do you understand? Because Alice Springs is close to Darwin, and I have to see new areas of life. So I have to keep moving. I cannot just be in this one place. I have to be somewhere better. I have to accumulate a better way. So before, in terms of 3 years ago, I was stuck with my biological dad in his household, and I had less than 20 bucks. I mean, I was 47 kilos heavier. I mean, what changed? And also, before, I was a smoker, and I quit smoking. Now, I realized that I also turned vegan. And 3 years ago, I was a smoker, I was a meat eater, I was 47 kilos heavier, and I was broke. I mean, what happened? I mean, I started doing courses, I started to learn, I started to grow, and I slowly also started to write my story down every single day, and about what people are doing to me and how I feel. And you have to understand that these days, I realize that many people are doing nothing to hurt me, although you understand, because I never ever become a victim. I realize that no matter how many times they try to kick me down, I will say that I'm not a victim. I can get kicked down by them, and I can lift them up at the same time, because that's what a leader does. I realize that you have to speak from the heart, and you have to envision yourself much greater. You have to understand that it's time to move on from your bad habits. You have to understand that it's time to inspire people today. I realize it's time to contribute your life and to say your story and who you are, because if you don't, you will always fall prey to somebody else who will give you a story. And guess what? Your story in their hands is shit all. Do you understand? Because if you don't talk about your story, nobody else is going to talk about for you. You have to woman up and man up. You have to be a better person. You have to understand that you put yourself in Jesus' name first, and you put something greater first. I mean, believe in something greater than yourself. And that way, you're going to work towards it. You have to understand, to have a clear mind, and to do that is get off the caffeine and get off the drugs and get off the cigarettes, because that's kicking you down. I never need you to work for anything of this world except for something greater than you. And now, what do I work for? I work for Jesus. I work for something great. I work for something greater than I. And now, since I have the ability to life coach all my life, I also have a music production course inside my beautiful Mega Drive. And now, I do music production, and also I travel, and also I'm the best version of myself, and also I have a life coaching degree in life, because I live life and I have no certificate from other people to say you're a life coach, man. I realized I never had to. I although understand that many people have to go to study 5 years to become a life coach because of somebody else's recommendation. I realized that you go and practice what it is you love to do and do it on a daily basis so that you can become the best version of yourself. I realize that is the whole point of loving your life. I realize that when you love your life, you will do something greater. You will understand how greatness is. You understand that what greatness is today is measuring up to yourself in a better way. You're making sure that what you do on a daily basis, is going to help you to communicate, and it's going to help you to be more driven, and it's going to help you to see more and feel more and be more. You have to understand to know more. I promise you, I don't know anything, although I learn more and more throughout time. I don't know anything, I'm not sure of anything, although I always say I know nothing. I know nothing about who I am, I know nothing about what I've done. I don't know the people I've met in my life. Although I can see everything, I can see who you are, I don't have to explain that. I can see where the world is, I can see it right now. Although that the best place in life is making sure that you're better than yesterday. You're making sure that whatever you're doing today is going to help you prosper and move forward, because that's the only way. I promise you, the only way is quit the drugs, cars, and quit the pornography and masturbation right now, and quit the caffeine, because that way I promise you, you will have more energy, and you will feel more confident, and you will look better, and you will have beautiful looking skin. Because guess what? I quit masturbation, I quit pornography, I quit also the veganism in terms of the meat eating. I never quit veganism. I'm still a vegan. I quit the meat eating. I'm not a meat eater anymore. I was a meat eater for 26 years. And now, since I'm somebody who does love myself, I realize that I study everything in terms of what is behind labels. I look at myself and my food, and I understand that when I go and see this, I go and study what this is. And I see on here, I see over here, it's got water and sugar cane juice and sugar and color in terms of the sugar cane. So guess what? I can say it's healthy, because guess what? Sugar comes from the plant. So any sugars that come from the plant is healthy. Otherwise, that anything that's added sugar and added flavors and added colors is bad, because that's called artificial preservatives and colors and sweeteners. And sweeteners is in terms of added colors and flavoring. You need to understand that whatever you're doing today is going to make sure that you understand that you must control yourself in a better way, because that way you will train yourself to control yourself in your temper and your anger, because it's never worth the trouble to go through pain in a suffering way. Because guess what? Pain is good for you. Although suffering is called losing time. And those people who lose time are the ones who never have time freedom, because they lost time. So when you lose time, you don't deserve time. Realize that when you try to make time, you will make more financial freedom, because financial freedom is more time. You need more time in your life. You need to have a better schedule. You need to have more time to do what you love to do. And now you have to be conscious about doing that. And the best way is quit pornography and toxic pleasures and negative people around you, and get away from them. And also make sure that you understand that watching other people having sex is never going to be anything special. I mean, it's never going to help you, and it's never going to grow you. I mean, would you do it in front of your kids? I mean, if no, I mean, it's something that you must be ashamed about then. Do you understand? I mean, you must go and do what you would do in front of your kids. I mean, what you can do in the outside world in terms of you go in the shops. I mean, would you go and masturbate to pornography in front of all the people in the world? I mean, would you do it? I mean, because otherwise people will get in your business and they'll say, what are you doing, man? You understand? Whereas that if you would never do it in front of the crowd, I mean, please never do it while you're alone. I mean, it's that simple. Whereas also that many people are attached to pornography and they believe that pornography is the solution. And they believe that pornography is going to help them grow. And that it's something that the person loves them in the videos. And they believe that the person loves them. And because that guy is having sex with the beautiful woman that you will never have, or the lady is having sex with a guy that you will never have, I realize that you believe that it makes you feel loved because they're having sex and they never will have sex with you. I realize that it's all ego driven, do you understand? I mean, that is never important about them having sex, and you never watch that in the first place, because then that image of what you watched repeats itself in the mind, and it always will be a craving about that scene that you watched. Realize that if you watch this scene where you may have been so tempted to watch, and you watch it and then it goes into your mind, and whatever happens, you have this image always playing in your mind. And now when you see that image, you understand that it's a craving. Realize that when you see cravings in your mind for pornography, you have a thought. And now you have to overcome your thoughts. You have to overcome your thoughts. So to overcome your thoughts, you have to make sure that what you're doing today is going to be consciousness. You have to understand consciousness derives from this moment. You have to understand to be in the moment is to overcome everything. You need to relate everything with life. And you need to understand that when your technology is losing, you get some new technology. You get something totally different. Realize that you need always a better idea. You need always something much greater. And you need to always make sure that what you're doing today is going to help you grow. So when you get irritated, learn from it. I realize that when you're getting irritated, I realize it's your ego that's getting irritated. I realize your ego is something that is your mind. And I realize your mind is not you. You are in the heart. You're here. You're here. I realize that the heart has a mind of its own. Although you are not in your head, you are in your body. I realize that in order to overcome all addictions and become a greater success today, I realize it's just moving to the body. And now when you move into the body, I realize it's never do what is unvaluable. And now what is unvaluable is wasting time. And it's being around people who never matter. And it's being around people who never lift you. I realize it's being around any aspect of life where it's taking away rather than giving you anything. I realize that a liability is something that takes away your time and your money by never giving you more. I realize an asset column is something that gives you time and money. I realize that, for example, a car can be an asset, although it also can be a liability. I realize that a car, in terms of my life, is a liability. And why is that? Because I never need a car. In terms of, I never need to own it. I never need my own car. I realize it's a liability, because otherwise every single year I have to give insurance, I have to service the car, I have to give petrol, and you understand that I have to maintain it. And I have to be in one area maybe, so that I can work a 9 to 5 job, so I can have petrol. You understand? I realize I throw away the car, I never need to do a 9 to 5 job anymore because I never have to put petrol in the car, and then I travel the world because I never have to service the car anymore, and I never have to give insurance for the car anymore because I can go and travel now because I don't have a car and I don't need a car, although I have Uber. I realize now, because I have Uber, I realize that a car is an asset because I can give $8.50 and I can get to my destination 20 minutes faster than walking. I realize that is a liability because now when I do that, I can still travel the world. Do you understand? I realize that renting cars for just one day is a lie. I realize that when you rent cars for just one day, I realize it is a asset. Whereas that you have to understand that when you're an individual who understands that greater time freedom is something worthy, you'll understand to quit pornography. Because that is how you save more time. You understand that we've already talked about in this video many ways on how to increase your lifespan and also to help you become happier. And I'm only one in divinity. You have to understand, I'm only one. So when I am number one, I'll show you how to be number one. And that's overcome all your mistakes and learn from it. And make sure that you push with your heart to talk about anything. Although make sure that you just keep them rolling and give the ideas. And make sure that you're never perfect, although you're better than perfect. I realize that when you're perfect, you always stay this way. You always stay the person you are now, because that's perfection. I realize although that you have to become better than perfection, and you have to start growing today. And the best way is get some more ideas, and give more ideas, and practice and practice and practice, and make sure that you never stop for anybody. You never stop. So you're just always making sure that what you're doing today is going to help you to move forward, and it's going to help you to prosper, and it's going to help you to make sure that you're a foundational being, because a being is spiritual. And a spiritual being is called right now. And it's called this moment. And it's called Jesus Christ. I need you to understand that Jesus died today and was risen today. You have to understand that in Jesus' times, realize that is this time. Do you understand? I need you to understand that in order to overcome everything in your life, you have to be in the motions, and you have to understand to guide yourself throughout the process, and teach people how you overcome your demons, and teach people how you become successful, and teach people how you live life, and teach people how you travel, and teach people everything about you. I mean, there's nothing else greater to talk about other than Jesus and you. I mean, there's nothing else greater to talk about. I mean, the only person in terms of divinity that will ever love you in this life is Jesus the most. I promise you, Jesus will love you the most. Because Jesus is all there is. And you should understand that. You have to understand that the number one mentor you have in life is Jesus. And Jesus will lead you because you need a mentor to teach you everything. And that's why go to Jesus and learn about Jesus and understand that Jesus will never do pornography and masturbation, and that's why delay it. And Jesus will never ever eat meat, and Jesus will never ever drink alcohol and do drugs. You'll never find Jesus in a nightclub. I promise you, you'll never find Jesus weekly in a nightclub. I promise you, although, that Jesus already sees all that, and Jesus will never go there. I promise you, what Jesus will do is more God work and making sure that you are increasing your consciousness. So being a conscious miracle worker in terms of helping other people to raise out of mental health issues and lose weight and do some life coaching and do anything in your power to make sure that the world inside of you is better. I realize that's the best job in the world, and that's a 24/7 job. I'm always making sure that what I do today is going to be better. So anytime I get a craving to watch pornography, I make sure that I get away from it. I get away from it, I make sure to go and focus on something else. I make sure that I never ever substitute pleasure for pleasure, because that never works. I realize that one point of that is going from pornography and never watching pornography, although you can masturbate. I realize you never do that either. You don't do masturbation and you don't do pornography. You stay away from pleasure. I realize that if you're a person who believes you can go quitting masturbation and pornography, then go to drugstore to grab yourself painkillers, realize that is no good either. You have to quit the drugs and the pornography and the masturbation. You have to understand that straight edge lifestyle is sobriety, and just be sober and be vegan, because it's about increasing your energy. So the more you increase your energy and disciplines in life, realize the more you're going to succeed. So find the words to say from your emotions, and your emotions is full of energy and full of wisdom. So give your heart and soul every single day and push yourself with the emotions to do videos. Realize that the mind can be limiting. You have to understand to go into the heart, because in the heart there's peace and quiet, and in the mind it's always stimulating with thoughts, and you're always thinking, and that drives you nuts and it drives you crazy. So go in the heart, because the heart never thinks about anything. I mean, the heart will show you the way. Do you understand? I realized that the mind will keep on talking about this person, and then that person, it goes into the dog, and you'll start talking about the dog more, and then from the dog, you'll go into the knife. And then from the knife, you start talking about killing yourself. Do you understand? Because that's the mind. And the mind has thoughts. And now, the heart has no thoughts. Your body has no thoughts. So go and make decisions with your body and heart and guts and your legs and your fingers and your aspects of life where you have lungs. You make decisions with your lungs and with your intestines and with your gut instinct. Make decisions with your body and never with the mind. Make your whole life come true and live day to day and live one step at a time. And you can overcome it one step at a time. Otherwise, if you're not overcoming pornography and masturbation, otherwise it's because you're skipping a step. Do you understand? Because you can overcome it. You just have to understand to be more conscious of how to do so. And that's the one step, is learn more about how to do so. You can learn anything. You can learn how to be without pornography and masturbation. Do you believe that? You can learn how to do anything in this life. I realize that when you can learn it, you can do it. You have to learn it. And then when you learn it, what are you going to do with the information? You're going to give it. You're going to give the information to somebody so that you can help your business grow. Because if you've got nothing to give, you will never receive money. I realize that it's not about receiving money. I realize that what money is wisdom. Although when you go and give it to somebody, you help them. And then when you help them, you become selfless and you have a business because you're giving something, because you learn something, you go and teach something then. Because I know nothing about what I know. I know nothing. And that's why I teach. I still learn. I question what I teach. I question everything. I question myself. You have to question me too. I question myself. I question everything. I realize I use my emotions to overcome everything. I quit the sugar, in terms of the white sugar and the sweetness. I quit that. I quit all the preservatives. I never eat any hummus out there because I never need it. Although in Melbourne, I found one hummus in 1 year and 1 month and 2 weeks. I found one hummus in Australia that has no preservatives. How much do you need? You have to understand that what you need is something greater. So move away from anything that's got preservatives, because that's never going to help you. Because what preservatives is a chemical, or as preservatives is a chemical that helps them put food on the storage in terms of on the shelf for longer, and it's not good for you. I realize that you don't need that. You need to be able to understand that your money has to be better, and your money is your habits. I realize that every single day I overcome my demons, I'm more powerful, I'm more stronger, because what I do to build muscle and what I do to make music is I use my emotions. And I ask my emotions, what do I need and what do I feel to make? And how do I feel to overcome pornography now? And will I in 8 hours time watch pornography? And I look at that with my heart, and I say, in 24 hours time, I sense it out with my heart, I don't ever need to watch pornography in 24 hours time. I'm already ahead of the game, and I make sure I stay ahead of the game with my emotions, and I push myself and I drive myself in ways that nobody else can find me out in a way that I've been negative, because I'm not negative. Although you understand that my emotions is innocent and my emotions is my blood flow. So when I overcome something, I realize I use my emotions to do so, because emotion is the most powerful force in the universe. You understand that is the honest case, because when you have emotions, you understand that you are living in the heart, and the heart has no thoughts. You have to understand that when you're driven by emotion, you have everything to do with the body, and those people who are in the body are going to be sunk in the moment, because before I was too much in the thoughts. I was too much up here, and that's why I was so fat, because I believed the mind, and I believed thoughts of other people. And because I believed thoughts of other people, I started to become much more hypercritical, and it's my ego that was so hypercritical of me, and I would be hearing voices, and that's all the ego, and that's the ego saying it's time for you to kill somebody. I was a schizophrenic. And when I was hearing voices, I was hearing kill. And I was hearing kill. I mean the word kill, and the mind would just say it. And I was totally, let's say, out of it. And how did I overcome it? I used my emotions daily. And I got to understand my emotions. And I used what I learned in soccer, which is nothing. I learned nothing. Although you understand, I used myself in my favor. Although you understand, that is the whole point. I know nothing. Although I see what I can see from soccer in terms of my experience, and I use my experience to drive myself forward. And now, when you're teaching something, you teach self-evaluated experience about your life, and that's called wisdom-driven aspects of business. And now, if you're not talking about experience, you'll never have a life, and you'll never ever have a story, and you'll never have success because you're not talking about your experience, because you're ashamed and you're in secrecy and you need to be a nobody, and that is why you're always going to be something small in life. I need you to be something much bigger than who you are in terms of effectiveness. I mean, you have an incredible heart, you have a soul, you're divine with me, and you deserve all the success. So use your emotions to help you succeed. Help yourself succeed with your emotions. Use your emotions to help yourself succeed even more. Because that way, I use my emotions to drive my video. I use my emotions to push myself to communicate. I tense up my emotion and I say push. I push myself to communicate. I make sure I get tensed up sometimes, although when I get tensed up, I make sure to give it the content. And then throughout the day, I just let go. I let go. I can let go now. I can let go and I can relax. Although I like to push myself with my emotions. Do you understand? Because there's no barrier. I'm not going to gain heart disease because I've been too tense. You understand though that before I was too tense, either way. And now I was too tense because I was on the drugs. And I was also too much into pleasure. And now, back then, you understand that my emotions were trying to help me to grow. And that's why I was tense. I can become tense now and I can push myself to grow. And there's no problems. Although before, I was too much in the mind. And that is why you have to understand that the emotions can overcome everything. I need you to understand that if you let go of pornography today and you don't ever go there, you'll understand that if you do watch pornography and you let it go today, you understand that it's because you are emotionally driven. Realize that what the mind does is it thinks about pornography and then it goes and does it. When you never think about pornography, you'll never do it. Do you understand? Because as soon as you have the thought of pornography, you will go and do it. Realize that in order to have no thoughts, you have to have no mind, as the Buddha said. And guess what? No mind means no time to be in your head. Go and be in the heart. And go and do what the heart needs to do. Because when you feel like urging yourself to do pornography, realize it's really your ego that's urging you. Realize that anything that's got to do with pleasure activities, I realize it's the ego that is driving you to go and do that, and it's not you. So take control of your mind and say to the mind with your emotions, no. Realize that pleasure is no good for me. Realize Jesus says the number one rule is delayed gratification, and that means no pleasure. That's the best way to be a man. Realize that's the best way to be a woman. Realize it's stop the pleasure and stop the fun seeking and stop the selfish pleasures of self-interest in terms of self-abolishment. Never be abolishing yourself with pleasure. Stop being self-seeking in a way that you're doing selfish pleasures. What selfish is, I understand that. I apologize, although I understand that what selfish pleasures is right now is selfishness in a way that it helps nobody else. Whereas selfishness is a way that it helps nobody else, although you understand that you go and speak it out, that you have to help others. You have to be more like Jesus. You have to understand that in order for yourself to be more like Jesus, you have to stay away from pleasures, and that way you'll be less selfish. It's that simple. When I get tongue-tied, I realize I have to undo my tongue-tiedness. I realize that I have to do much better, and I have to say, I have to do my unwilling nature where I understand that I have will and I do better than yesterday. I never tie my tongue anymore, because guess what? When I do, I understand I contradict and I grow. I contradict what I say. And what does contradiction mean? I realize that contradiction means go one way and another way. You realize that? And then go one way. I realize that's contradiction. I realize that you're just going to try something. You're going to go and look for trial and error, and you're going to find the middle ground in that knowledge. I realize that's called contradiction, and Osho teaches me that. Do you understand? Because when I go and learn from people, I go and apply what they give me, and it just never stands still. And that's called contradiction. I mean, go one way and see how it feels, and then go this way and see how it feels. I mean, go and do what you've never done. I mean, if you've never been without pornography, you understand to go and do it. I mean, stop thinking about it and go and do it. And to go and do it is just another saying to say, be in the heart and do it. And stop thinking about quitting and just go and do it. I mean, to go and do it is to really understand with your emotions to go and do it. I mean, be linked with your emotions. I mean, when you hear the word, I realize when you hear the word just do it, in terms of the Nike brand, I realize that it's really devastating how many people don't do it. I mean, you understand that too much thinking, and now too much thinking is up here in the head, and Buddha said no mind. So get in the emotions, and you understand to walk. You understand to go and walk it. You understand to go and do it. I realized that in this video, I never had to think about it. I realized that if I had to think about doing this video, I'll never do it. I mean, what drove me to do this video? I mean, I went with the heart. I pushed my heart, and I said, I just said get this one, and put it here, and put the camera right away, and I ordered myself. I said, start right now. I push myself with my emotions. I don't think about it, I just go into it. You understand? I mean, if you can imagine yourself that before you even come to this video, you're just thinking about doing this video with me, and you're thinking about coming into the video to see what I've got to say, and you're still thinking about it, and you're still thinking about it. I mean, you're still thinking about it. I mean, how much are you going to think? I mean, what is going to help you to do the action? I mean, stop thinking and get into the body, and get into the heart, and now, with no thinking, what are you going to do? You're just going to do it. I mean, that's the difference of just do it. I mean, the difference is you just do it. I mean, stop thinking. I mean, stop going in the head. I mean, when you're thinking about porn, well, let's go into the heart. You never think about it. I mean, how is the mind able to control you? I mean, why you give in? I mean, why are you giving up? I mean, you never give up. I mean, why are you giving up to the mind? I mean, why are you letting this mind upset you? Realize that you're not the one getting upset. You never get upset. Realize it's the ego that's making you believe that you're upset. Realize the ego gets upset. You don't get upset. You are the observer of your mind. And now, in order to overcome your mind, is overcome it with the heart and push and tense up your emotions and say, what are you going to do now, ego? I mean, you're going to have to make me go on the bed to masturbate now? I mean, you'll never move me. You never move me from this chair. You never move me, because guess what? Your ego is in here, and your body is 10 and 30 and 40 times bigger than your head. I mean, how is the ego going to move you? I mean, what else can you do in the moment to make sure that you never go on that bed to masturbate? And then go with the heart, and you'll never think about it. And then you go have a shower right now. You go for a walk. You go see something else. You talk to someone. You talk to somebody. You go and write something down. You leave the whole house. You just never leave the body. I mean, how are you going to overcome your demons? You overcome it with the heart. You say, no longer will I go to see this person because they never help me. I mean, when somebody never helps you, I mean, they hate you. I mean, those who never help you, I mean, hate you. You have to understand, you go and help yourself and stop relying on other people to help you. You don't need them to help you. And in this video, I never thought about this video. I just say it. I do it naturally because how do I do it? I use the same method. I use no mind. And I go into the body and I speak my heart out. And my heart already has the information to give you. And I don't have to think while I speak. I don't have to be in the mind. And I never have to associate with the thinking. And I never have to be that dog who chases its tail. Do you understand? Because when you see a dog chasing its tail, you understand that the dog's being and having fun, although you understand also that the dog looks stupid. And you understand that it's also loving itself in the same time. Otherwise, although it's contradictory, although you understand, I never have to be angry. I'm rich or better. I need to understand that the dog looks very angry as well. I need to understand though, that if you're angry in life, I realize it's because you're grumpy. And grumpiness is anger. And those people who are angry are the ones who are more egotistical. So when I was waking up in the morning, and whatever morning, I realized that my morning can be anything, although I get up before 9:30 a.m. I get up before 9:30 a.m. always, unless something happens. You understand? I realize that I make sure to wake up and go to the toilet and look myself in the mirror and I say I love you, and then I come here and I organize myself about what to do about the day, although I do it the night before and I plan my day before the night before, and I say what will I do tomorrow, and I lay down and I just move my emotions down like this, and I move my emotions this way, and then I just play with my emotions and I close my eyes and I say to my emotions, I say, what do you need? And my emotions say, I need you. I need you, and I need you to relax. I need you to see that tomorrow you just relax and you're going to do some music production. I realize now my emotions say it. I realize my emotions is making my day. And what else do I need? I realize that my emotions say you'll go and you'll eat some new foods that you got yourself today, and you also make sure that you go and check your emails. You will also make sure to advertise yourself, and I make sure to continue my daily process. And you understand that my emotions already gave me a signal of what to do tomorrow. Do you understand? So I'm every single day before bed, I go into my emotions, and I'm always into my emotions. I'm always inside my emotions, and I just plan my emotions this way, and I move my emotions around so I can see how I feel, and then I feel my thinking. I feel my thinking. I feel the thinking up here. And I feel what I need. I feel everything, and I overcome my thoughts with my energy, and I overcome my thoughts with my emotions, and I use my emotions every single day, and I move them around. I'm moving around. I'm moving around. I'm always moving my emotions, because that's how I overcome the ego, and that's how I overcome pornography and masturbation. I have to move and move and move, and it's the same with all addictions. You have to move and move and move. You have to understand that the ego loves pleasure, and cigarettes gives you a nicotine hit and it rushes dopamine into your brain, and it's one of the most addictive drugs on the planet because you can always have another cigarette. You have to understand though that you can never have one, in terms of you can never have a cigarette. You must stay away from it. Although you understand I was a smoker, and when you're a smoker who just started, you understand that you have all these cigarettes where you can just sit and smoke all day. I mean, how boring. I mean, I did that for 7 years. I mean, I just sat and smoked my life away. I mean, that's not the way. I mean, now I make sure that what I do is these videos. I make sure that what I do is I wake up and I'm full of fresh air and I can breathe, and I have no emphysema anymore, and I never have to worry about money, and I never have to worry about anything of my health anymore, because before I was ignoring the cigarette packets and what they say on it because I was not knowledgeable and I didn't have the knowledge, and I didn't see on how to communicate my intention. So those people who have addictions are the ones who are less emotionally quotient. I'm not negative. I realize that those people who understand motives are going to understand that the question mark in terms of the two Bugs Bunny rabbits is a negative emotion, although the non-human animals are not negative. You have to understand to use abbreviations and emphasis. You can use this as an emphasis. You can use it in a negative manner, you can use it in a positive manner. I love you. I emphasize it. I love you. I love you. I need you to understand, you go and emphasize yourself in a greater way, and understand your emotions will rule the world. I mean, what world are you ruling? I mean, you just rule your world. You don't have to rule other people. You don't tell other people what to do. You go and show people what to do. You don't tell them what to do. You go show them. You give them free knowledge, and then it's up to them to go and watch you. I mean, you don't go and tell them that you must watch me. You just give them the knowledge and you say it's for free, and it's up to you about what you need to do. I've lost weight, and many fat people don't listen to me. I've lost 47 kilos, and they believe they know it all. I don't care about them. When was that? I see on Instagram, I see 302 people liked in terms of clicked inside my website in 5 months. I don't care, because I gave you all the free knowledge. I gave you free knowledge and you don't deserve it. I don't care. I'll find other people who will. I'll find a better way. I promise you there's always a better way. I don't care about the people who don't read from me, because I'm not stupid. I'm not stupid. I'm better than yesterday, and they're missing out. I realize I upload journals every single day and I give them free. I realize that it's a generous act, although it helps me grow. I understand that growth is freedom, and those people who have growth every single day are the ones who are going to overcome everything. And to do that, you need to get more powerful with your emotions. You have to drive yourself to do everything. You have to drive yourself to overcome addiction. You have to drive yourself to communicate. You have to drive yourself to create everything. You have to drive yourself to make sure that you can learn. You have to drive yourself to get the information you need. You have to drive yourself and push yourself with your emotions. And now, if you have energy, you have more energy and more energy, you'll be much stronger and you'll be more motivated when you have more energy. Do you understand? You have much more of an upbeat lifestyle than those people who are fat. And I was fat and I was low on energy. I remember when I was drinking the caffeine and I quit the caffeine, I promise you the first 6 months, I was so dead. My adrenal glands were starting to recover, and I understand that the caffeine and the sugar, back then I quit also. I quit alcohol and sugar and cigarettes. I quit alcohol and sugar and cigarettes and caffeine at the same time. And boom, for the next 6 months, I was low on energy. I mean, think about that in the moment. I mean, never think about it here. I mean, look at that with the heart. I mean, when you have no energy, you understand how it feels. I mean, you have no energy. I mean, I never even worked a 9-to-5 job because I had low energy. I mean, that's how it felt. I was dead. I realized I started to pick up. I started to do something quicker. I started to adapt quickly. I started to really train myself. I started to go and walk the block while I was dead. I mean, I just pushed myself. I then started to stay away from the foods, and I started to lose weight, and then my energy started to pick up from that point on. I was fat too. I was fat when I quit the cigarettes and the alcohol and the sugary drinks and the caffeine. I was fat. I was 27 kilos heavier than this. Do you understand? I was obese class 2. And guess what? Now I'm freedom. I have wealth, I have health, I have travels, I've overcome pornography, I've overcome addiction, I've overcome masturbation, I've overcome pornography and everything. Because I use my emotions to do so now. I'm very strong, I'm very powerful. I'm very powerful. I can trust in Jesus. I trust only in Jesus. I promise you, although you don't have to believe me, I'm still better than myself, and that's the whole point. Realize that if you don't believe how I became better than yesterday, and you don't watch my videos and you don't see my results, and you see my results and you don't believe me, I realize that's up to you. I don't care about you. I mean, a woman to tell me how to live my life, I mean, you have to understand, to give me some ideas And I'll see for myself how to live a greater life. I realize I never do it for myself, I do it for something greater. I realize that I have nothing against a woman, I have nothing against people, or a woman to tell me how to live my life. I mean, you make sure to give me some ideas, I will see those ideas, and then I will make a decision based on what Jesus will do. I mean, if you got something to give me, I realize you give it for free. You never say, you follow. I never follow you because you say that. I never follow you because now you have a book and you need $10 from me so that I can read it. I mean, I don't even know you, man. I don't even need to know you. I don't even need to know you because I can really see your status. I can see you. I mean, when I see some potential in you, I'll come and learn from you. I mean, those people who see no potential in me, probably should they're lost already. I don't need them in my life. I don't need them. I don't need them in my life. I don't need them to share me around. I don't need them to do anything for me. I don't need anybody else to do anything for me. I already see what I am and who I am and how I grow, and it's the best version of my life. I realize that now, since I do control my energy, I do some Tai Chi, baby. I do some Tai Chi. I relax and I absorb the world around me in a better way. And I've got Gerald Salente, where he updates me with politics and the global economy and what's going on around the world. And now when I say that, I mean around the world. I never mean my world. Do you understand? I mean, I learn about the economics around my world. I learn about that. I learn about what's going on around me. I never learn. I always learn. I always learn. I never learn. I learn always. I need to understand that when you say never, I need to understand to make sure that you say never in some aspects of life that never help you. I never will do pornography again. I never will do the drugs again. Stay to it. And to stay to it is called use your emotions and never go there. I mean, push yourself to never go there. I mean, push yourself to never go where toxic behavior and where time wasting is and where pleasure is, and stop doing what they are doing in terms of what the crowd is doing, because they're all watching pornography right now in terms of the coronavirus pandemic around me, which is the stock market crash around me, although my stock market is going up, or otherwise my stock market is going up. I'm growing, and that's the only time that you need to be free, is in the moment. So use your emotions to live life right now, and I'll see you guys in the next video.